petrol, diesel, electric and now CNG. This is the first car in India with so many powertrain options. This is the first CNG car in India with a turbocharged petrol engine. This is the first CNG car in India with a 6-speed gearbox. This is the first CNG car in India with a panoramic sunroof. This is the most powerful CNG car in India. This is none other than the Tata Nexon iCNG, which is available in 10 variants. This one is priced at rupees 16.71 lakhs on road Mumbai for the Fearless Plus variant. However, price range starts at rupees 10.2 lakhs for the base variant. So yeah, it costs around rupees 80,000 more when compared to the non-CNG model, and there are a lot of changes here. For starters, let's open the engine bay. The car is actually turned off for a reason. Where is this lever? Yeah, there it is. That is the engine 3-cylinder unit, which obviously vibrates a lot. There's insulation right there. There's some empty space here. Washer fluid goes in right there. Usually it's blue colored. I don't know why it is yellow colored, and bang, it closes. This car is very solid. It's got 5-star rating from both global as well as Bharat NCAP, which makes it extremely safe. One of the reasons why this car sells in such great numbers is obviously because of the safety of the vehicle. You get this continuous running light, which obviously has this animation when you unlock the car and lock the car at night, which is quite cool. You get 2 parking sensors at the front, one here and the other here. That is the front parking camera. There's a towing hook here, and those are the main lights. So this is the DRL, which also converts into the indicator, has the dynamic swipe function, which is nice. These are the main lights of the car, and the next one obviously is available in 100+ variants, and I'm not even including the electric one here. The length is under 4 meters, the wheelbase is under 2.5 meters, and I'm happy that Tata Motors is offering all the variants for the CNG, which is quite good because CNG guys usually get the lower variants. Wheel size seems a tad small. This is obviously a 16-inch tire, 215/60/16. Alloy wheel design is also decent. It looks nice. There's a camera here. This one is the creative ocean color with dual tone treatment with white on the roof, and these roof rails definitely look useless to me because I don't think they can hold anything. Yeah, panoramic sunroof, shark fin antenna, gloss finish right there. Coming to the rear of the car, I really like the fact that Tata Motors has just given it a small iCNG badging. Here, it gets the dynamic swipe function for the indicators. Again, it has this light effect when you unlock the car at night, which is quite cool. You get 2 parking sensors, one here, one there. The spare wheel is now placed below here. Yeah, and it seems to be not an alloy, obviously, smaller size. This is the exhaust of the vehicle. I don't know what this is so that the exhaust doesn't fall off. But yeah, the spare wheel had to be moved down, obviously. Next on written here, that is the camera. And straight away, let's open the boot of the vehicle. The rear wiper washer is actually hidden right there. So the boot has become smaller by 61 liters. This is 321 liters, which is still very impressive. You want to increase the boot carrying capacity, just kick it like this and it will happen. Okay, it did not happen because it's a bit hard. Okay, it's a 60-40 split. That one has shut. Below here you get the CNG tanks, which can accommodate 60 liters, 30-30 each, or up to 9 kgs, 4.5 kgs each. However, that obviously depends on the temperature and pressure. So nicely concealed CNG tank right there. Where's the toolkit? I have to lift this. Okay, it's a bit stuck, but yeah, the toolkit is placed between here. It can accommodate 3. So 12 kgs of subsidy you can obviously put there. The Tata logo nicely placed, obviously, and it has the CNG badging right here. Otherwise, you really can't tell if it is a CNG. Fuel goes in right here. So does the CNG, and as soon as you open this flap, the car will automatically turn off. Some information has been written right there. There's no request sensor here, which is a bit of a cost cutting, obviously. And this does not fold all the way down, which means it's not very practical. It should have folded flat. That would have been so much fun. Seat belt is gone, hidden behind there. Isofix child seat mounts. Door pockets are slim at the rear. You get this piano black finishing here, obviously, and nice treatment as well. Space at the rear is good, but before that, let me show you this awesome car perfume from Involve Your Senses. This is the Involve Elements Flame. It's a fiery car perfume which smells awesome. Obviously, it has this sort of strong smell which really makes the car smell awesome. It is burning with fire and desire. I just love the smell of this perfume. It's just awesome. Now let's get inside to the rear seat because space here is decent for something which is sub 4 meter. Under the support is okay, not bad, not great either. Headroom is not bad at all, but my cap is obviously touching the roof. Although this panoramic sunroof hasn't really reduced the headroom in this car. Scooped out, no magazine holder here, no magazine holder here. USB-A, USB-C, sort of fast charging. Little hump here, which means 3 passengers are not comfortable here. And you get an armrest with twin cup holder. Center passenger does not get a head only. There is no headrest, but seats are actually nice and comfortable. The dashboard looks quite nice in this all black theme, which is feature loaded here, which is such a nice thing, yeah, because at the end of the day, CNG guys also deserve all the features in the world. Here you get a fire extinguisher, which is conveniently hidden below because it is mandatory. It even says that the fire extinguisher is placed here. There's a hook right here so you can keep your subzi, and if I press this button, the glove box opens. It has got a shelf on the top and a shelf below as well, along with Citroen keys. These are the cup holders. That's the only cup holder because there's no cup holder in the center, which is disappointing. You obviously get the Easter egg there, and you've got umbrella holders on the doors, but the door pads are like hard plastics. Yeah, they could have put some soft material there, and the door pockets are not that big. There's some information about the vehicle here, and you can turn off the passenger airbag by putting the key and turning it there. It says CNG here, another way to find out whether this is a CNG car. Otherwise, you really can't make out whether this is a CNG or not, because they have conveniently made sure that CNG guys don't feel inferior unless and until they're obviously standing in a huge line to fill CNG. Now you get seat ventilation. The button placement is in the wrong place because you can't see it most of the time. Again, the seats are comfortable at the front, 6 airbags here, but there's no dead pedal right there, which is a bit of an issue. Some storage space here. This should be the fuse box. If you pull it out, it will obviously come out, but it's not coming out right now, so I have to pull it even faster. Dated switchgear. Only the driver's side has a one touch down. Does it have one touch up? Yes, it has a one touch up as well. It gets illumination, but the rest do not get it. Mirror adjustment controls here. Again, ergonomic issues in this car because the steering is a bit too far ahead and it's not adjustable for reach. It is only adjustable for height. Yeah, the steering placement is a bit weird. Even the stalks are a bit on the higher side. And let me quickly turn off the light so you can see the screens. There are 2 of the screens. This is the blind view monitor. Every time you give an indicator, this thing activates, and it is quite cool. It's a bit slow to respond. I don't know why, but yeah, it is quite cool. Let's open the sunroof because massive panoramic sunroof has come in this car. Okay, it's not massive, but it's huge nonetheless, because for a car this size, it's actually quite nice. The only problem is there is only one switch to operate this. So I don't want to open this. Why is this opening? That's a bit of a problem. I don't know why brands are not putting multiple buttons when they actually have the provision to do that. Stop. Go back. Yeah, they could have easily put multiple buttons here to operate the sun blind and the sunroof, but no, they decided to make it more difficult for people to use it. Auto dimming mirror here. There is no mirror right here. There is actually a mirror for the co-passengers so they can see their face. Obviously, connected car tech should be there in this car. It says how to operate the steering wheel when the steering gets locked. Like this treatment, it's actually quite nice. I like the fact that seats are nice and comfortable and has this blue stitching as well. Height adjustable seat belts at the front. Says airbag right there. And this has some ergonomic issues because my knee is colliding with the center console. So it's an issue which we face with a lot of Tata cars as well. And the other issue which we face with Tata cars is inconsistent fit and finish. Quality levels could be better. Screens tend to hang kabhi. That's some things which Tata Motors really needs to address. And you get a wireless charging pad here, some storage space here as well, which is not that big, but it has the tri-arrow pattern on the inside because, hey, Mercedes-Benz, you have a physical handbrake, which is for the co-passenger, not for the driver. It should have had silver finish on the gear number so you could see it easily. And you have a USB-A as well as a USB-C fast charger along with a 12-volt charging as well. Now, this touch panel is a bit cumbersome to operate. Before that, let me show you the whole dashboard in white. And it looks quite nice. And let's quickly put this right here because this involved car perfume really freshens up the cabin in no time. All you have to do is spray it twice like this and it brings instant freshness in the car. It smells super duper awesome. I love it. I absolutely love it. You can get yours with a 10% discount using coupon code FASTBEAM. So make sure to get it because this involved elements flame is just burning with passion and desire. What a smell, and it's just so amazing. Now let's quickly look at the screen. It's a 10.25 inch unit. It's slick to operate. It has an AQI monitor. It has an inbuilt air purifier with a PM 2.5 air filter as well. There's a lot of stuff which you can do here because it has got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, both of which obviously work wirelessly here. This is the climate menu wherein you can turn on the air conditioning, but the car is turned off, so I'm just going to turn on the car. It has a clutch lock and there it turns on. Yeah, there are some bits of vibrations which I can feel right away. You can operate the air conditioning from here, so some physical switches, which is a good thing. Lot of buttons. I love this one because express cooling turned on. Express cooling windows will roll down with express cooling. That's a good thing.
Express cooling turned off. Please roll up windows if down.
So window roll down happens on its own. Roll up you have to do yourself. So express cooling is a very unique feature in Tata cars. This is a touch panel which is not that good to operate. This is for the 360-degree parking camera. It turns on in CNG mode by default because it has a single ECU, which means that you're going to save that much amount of fuel as well by not turning on petrol and then switching, because at times obviously you're going to forget. And then these are the controls for the air conditioning. This is for the temperature. This is to open the boot obviously, and this is for the fog lamps. Let me press this button. Yeah, you see it's a fingerprint magnet, because the light is not on, it's not activating, but yeah, this is a complete fingerprint magnet. This screen is slick enough. Let's quickly get into reverse. This is the reverse parking camera, which is a 360-degree parking camera. You've got multiple views here, which is quite awesome, and I can zoom in if I want, but I like the 3D view. It does this sort of a spinning every time you get into 3D view. Where is the sunroof? The sunroof has not been engineered in this software right now, but yeah, it's actually a good camera in terms of quality, and then you can see multiple views from here as well. Then you've got side views both at the front as well as the rear. So yeah, I like the quality of the camera. It is actually quite nice. Come on, out of here. I want to shut this, and let me quickly show you how this menu looks. Yeah, that looks quite cool. It's a single zone climate control, air conditioning obviously, and it says air quality is moderate right now. It's quite slick to use. Yeah, it's impressive as long as it does not hang obviously. And then you can get into the sound demo and listen to some music. Audio quality is actually quite good. This is obviously a JBL sound system. Sometimes this fumbles now when I'm putting input in the touchscreen. This is another 10.25 inch screen, which is actually quite cool. You've got multiple views here as well. But what has changed is that now they have got CNG specific menus too, which means that once I get into this, okay, it's a bit difficult to operate for the first time, but once you get the hang of it now, you know exactly what is happening. So there are twin trip meters here. There's a CNG trip meter too, which is quite cool, and there's obviously a tire pressure monitor as well. Let me change this, and yeah, this is actually decently done, but it has a power and torque meter too. What is the most important thing in this car? You know what? It tells you how much you have driven on CNG when compared to petrol. So you've got that menu as well. There it is. 55% I've driven on CNG. 45% I've been driving with sport mode on, because the drive modes have been removed here. Instead, you've got this cubby hole, which is good only to keep keys or probably this car perfume, because it's not a bottle holder. Bottle holder is still inside the glove box, which is disappointing. That's it. Let's start driving. Enough of yapping. Okay, let me turn off the car. And then it tells me engage park brake to take key out. And sometimes, you know what, it has these voice commands as well. It's telling me door is open. Let me turn on the car. Car is not turning on because it detects that the key is not with me. The key is right here. What are you doing, car? Turn on. There it turns on. It obviously has this whole swipe up thing, says Tata Motors. IRAC connected car tech is obviously there. Does this whole swipe up thing into first gear. And let's move a bit ahead, because I suspect the voice commands will turn right now. No, the voice commands have gone for a vacation. That said, this panel is not very aligned, and these are obviously the controls for the audio system, and this is for this particular screen, but there is no cruise control, which has been removed. The drive modes have been removed. The horn is okay, not that great. Let's go. Alright, it's time to start driving. I noticed one thing. This door is making some weird sound. It feels like the door hinge is going to break. So yeah, like I was telling you earlier, quality could be better here. It's not on the car, although the doors do feel solid. I love the fact that the Tata logo illuminates here, but the problem is the horn has now become a little bit tighter. Earlier it was too loose, so they have not got a midpoint here. It's not on the air conditioning. There are no drive modes, nothing to select right there. Let's actually change the cluster mode, because I want to put the power and torque meter, and automatically turns on the audio on some weird setting, which makes this sound like some noggin is there inside this car. And straight away, we are going to come to the power and torque meters. There's not much I can do here. There's no interesting thing to put. We're just going to put the AQI monitor, because we can into first gear. Traction control cannot be turned off, and we are in CNG mode right now. It turns on CNG mode because it has a single ECU, which means it's absolutely effortless to switch between the CNG as well as the petrol fuel options. Yeah, the ride is actually quite good, and the engine is quite noisy. So it's time to launch the car, which we will do right here, which is into first gear, revving the motor. Revs till 4000 RPM. Wheel spin, and off we go. Malfunction has been detected somewhere. It says red lines at 5500 RPM in CNG mode. Okay, it says there's some malfunction and I need to contact the service center, which is not very reassuring, but the ride is very impressive. Look at the car go. Oh my god, it feels so robust and rugged here, which is amazing. These potholes don't hinder the car at all. That is how good the ride quality of this car is, because the suspension has been tweaked very nicely here. So there is absolutely amazing ability to absorb the bumps. We're going to take a quick U-turn here because there's a roadblock of sorts in the front. So what they have done is they've obviously tweaked the suspension, because this car is 120 kgs heavier when compared to before. And why is it heavier by 120 kgs? Okay, it makes this sound to tell you want to hit something. It's heavier by 120 kgs because of the CNG tanks, obviously. And they have actually tweaked the rear suspension to ensure that the ride remains more or less the same as before. But the problem is that it feels a little softer at the rear, because of which there is vertical movement as well. Yeah, at the rear the ride could be slightly better, but at the front it feels absolutely amazing the way it takes almost everything in its stride. Okay, let's do the wiper test. Lot of spray here, but I love the fact it's able to just annihilate the worst of roads. It feels really rugged, very strong, and supremely awesome in terms of the ride quality, which is obviously the biggest strength of the Nexon. I don't know what mode we have reached, but I didn't even apply hard brakes. Automatically hazards turned on. So it's time to launch this car. The screen is a bit off at times. Anyways, into first gear, revving the motor. Now we should launch it in petrol, because that's like the sport mode here, and it will rev similar in neutral. Soft limiter is there, and off we go. Oh, I can feel the power. AIB warning. What is AIB warning? Okay, red lines at 6000 RPM here. Time to do the brake test. ABS is so sensitive that I was actually fighting the brake pedal there. So yeah, that could have been slightly better in terms of the way braking performance is. Let's come on to CNG mode. Let me tell you that it feels good to drive in CNG mode. No wonder it is the most powerful CNG car in India, because higher end cars don't come with CNG now. But trust me on this, the performance is very impressive here. I'd put some drive mode, yeah, power and torque meter. These things keep changing randomly because you tend to hit the buttons on the steering wheel. Into first gear, the gearbox is not the smoothest. It has a long throw. The clutch is also a bit snappy, so that kind of robs away from an effortless experience here. But that said, performance in CNG is actually quite good. So power has gone down by 20 horsepower. It produces 100 horsepower now. Meanwhile, torque output remains the same as before, which is 170 Newton meters, and the torque band is reduced. That 170 Newton meters comes in for 1000 RPM instead of 2500 RPM in the petrol. And that obviously does the performance of the car, which we will test in a bit to see how fast it goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour with my specialist timing gear. Let it catch the GPS. So in terms of handling, obviously it is not the best, because the steering feels a bit inconsistent. I mean, it weighs up decently well at speed. It is light enough at lower speeds. The problem with the steering is it's just too high up, and the ergonomics is what irks you out. It doesn't inspire confidence to push this car hard and fast, so the ergonomics could be better. In terms of the CNG efficiency, 24 kilometers per kg, which is the claim number, but even if it returns somewhere around 18 kilometers per kg, it's quite nice. But CNG is cheaper, but the CNG line is obnoxiously long, so that's something you have to definitely contend with. Who's going to wait for so long in front of a CNG filling station? And that's the reason I suggest don't get a CNG, get the diesel. Diesel costs around 80,000 more. So this costs 80,000 more than the petrol, and another 80,000 will actually get you the CNG. No, it'll get you the diesel. What am I saying? I saw that Alto and I kind of lost track of what I'm talking about. So slight premium more for the diesel, but a diesel is a diesel. Performance is impressive. Vibrations are there, especially at idle. You can feel a bit of vibrations and uneasiness from the engine, because a 3-cylinder engine, 1.2 liter engine. But as you rev it and as you start going ahead and moving across the rev range, it becomes smoother somehow. But there's a problem. The problem is it feels very loud and coarse in the higher end of the rev range. Okay, we are all set to test the acceleration of this car, because our GPS is ready now. Horn is decent, but this is such a fingerprint magnet as well. And off we go. Come on, let's go. So yeah, part throttle response is decent here. Turbo lag is well contained, and performance is something I would say is decent. It's not bad. It's good enough. It gets the job done. Obviously, this engine is not great when in petrol only mode either, because performance is a bit dull here, and that's the reason Tata Motors came up with a new 1.2 liter engine, which again is a 3-cylinder unit, but that's at least better than this one for sure. but that is not going to come in CNG because that is obviously a gasoline direct injection, which is going to be much more costlier. So a lot of these things have to be factored in. Now this car is available in 10 variants, but the Nexon is available in 104 variants, and I'm not even including the EV there. The EV is available only in 15 variants, but 104 variants of the Nexon. How do they even manage the inventory? How do they even keep a track of which variant they need to dispatch to the dealership? It's so confusing, and that's also because of dual tone paint scheme. There's petrol, there's diesel, there's obviously CNG now, there's manual, there's automatic, and AMT could probably come with this car later on. Yeah, I definitely believe they are going to get an AMT gearbox here. However, if you're looking for low running costs, this car absolutely excels. For 80,000 premium, you still get all the features in the world, and at 16.71 lakhs on road Mumbai, it's actually decently priced. I now realize that I'm actually hitting these buttons. That's the reason why this menu is opening, which is making me wonder, why don't they do a better way of buttons? Why they are so badly designed? Which actually brings me to the problem with this car. Tata Motors has been consistently updating the Nexon, but all the updates are incremental. They should just design this car grounds up for the next generation and address all the issues, because although they have refined the car over the years, there's still some issues, like specifically to the ergonomics and the quality, which need to be addressed. But then for the price, you think the kind of features they're offering, it is actually quite well equipped and bang for the buck as well. Road noise and tire noise is well contained here. You get a good view of what's around. Ground clearance is decent as well. So in terms of what a person is looking for in a CNG car, this is quite impressive. And I love the fact Tata Motors is not differentiating between CNG and petrol or diesel bias by saying, you know what, we're only going to give you the lower variants. They have fully equipped this car with a lot of features, but will buyers actually opt for the higher trims is something we can only find out later. But doesn't matter to Tata Motors. They have 100 plus variants. They can offer another 100 variants. How do they do the inventory management? Could be a case study in one of the business schools in the world, because that is a lot of variants. I just cannot understand how they even manage this. Anyways, let me get into higher gear. Let's get into 6th gear right now. It is somehow adequate in terms of performance. I didn't expect the CNG to be adequate in terms of performance, because I always keep cribbing about the petrol engine's performance, but this one actually surprises you quite a lot. But I have to downshift. Let's come into 3rd. It's time to take a quick U-turn from ahead. Come into 2nd. Yeah, I don't know why the hazard lights randomly start blinking here. This blind view monitor is actually awesome. So the Nexon price range starts at 9.4 lakhs, somewhere around that. 9.42 lakhs goes all the way to 18.7 lakhs or something of that sort. But the CNG is priced between 10.2 to 16.71 lakhs for this particular variant. Now it's the time to launch this car in CNG mode to see how fast it accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, which is into 1st gear, revving the motor, and off we go. Wheel spin bogs down because of AIB malfunction. Yeah, there's wheel spin again. So it's not the smoothest in terms of launching the vehicle and into 3rd gear. Yeah, the chassis does flex quite a lot when you're shifting gears, and now it starts to struggle in 3rd gear, and 0 to 100 km per hour in 14.33 seconds, which ain't bad. But on the fly, I can get into sport mode, because petrol here is the sport mode without a doubt, because the performance in petrol mode is just so much better. But then you don't want to pay a lot more for fuel, which is petrol, and then petrol is not as efficient here, because this engine is not great. It's not the best, and it's not something which impresses me at all. Yeah, I expected it to be a lot better. We're going to take a quick U-turn here. There we go. Front washes out a lot of understeer, a lot of sounds from the wheels. It's time to launch into 1st gear. Let's see what it does. So 14.33 in CNG mode, revving the motor, and off we go. Okay, somehow we launched it better, but what are these malfunctions, Tata Motors? Why am I getting malfunctions? What did I do? I just revved the nuts out of the car, and there I have fumbled because I've got into 5th gear instead of getting into 3rd gear. What a beautiful launch, but yeah, I completely messed up when it came to shifting gears, because the gearbox is not that great. Yeah, it kind of feels rubbery, and here we're going to launch it again. Hazard lights off. I can feel the vibrations. Yeah, a lot of vibrations here. Revving the motor. Bogs down. In 2nd gear. What is this warning? Yeah, come on. Gearbox is full of chewing gum. Yeah, what a horrendous gearbox. Doesn't shift only, so you can't do Need for Speed in this car, because the gearbox simply refuses to shift. It's so notchy. It's full of rubber. There's a chewing gum stuck inside. Tata Motors really needs to work on the gearbox, because as a package, the Nexon is very impressive with the kind of features it has, the kind of ride handling, and obviously high speed stability it offers. So yeah, better gearbox is definitely needed, and that's the reason I usually never ever recommend an automatic gearbox, but I do here with Tata Motors' cars. Anyways, we are going to come into 1st gear. Time to launch now. Come on, we need to get a good time. Revving the motor. Bog down, warning. The chassis is all over the place. We finally got third gear. Yeah, baby. Don't take this car to a drag strip because you're going to fumble big time. 1 second slow to go from 0 to, okay, the timing is horrendous because somehow we were not able to launch it properly, and that's another issue with this car. Consistent performance is not something which it offers, but obviously it's not made to do all this what I'm doing right now, which is continuously do drag starts again and again and again and again, because that's not where it excels. It excels in terms of being comfortable, good ride quality, and overall efficiency, especially with the CNG model. And that's one of the reasons why you would opt for a Tata Nexon iCNG, and it has a lot of first to it, which makes me proud that Tata Motors has done a phenomenal job here. Okay, let's try it again. Better launch. Come on, let's see what you got. Okay, 0 to 60 has come up in good time into third gear. Now this is it. Come on, you have to be faster than CNG. Yeah, baby! We are faster by more than 1.5 seconds. So yes, this car is faster by at least a second when compared to the CNG model when you're driving it in petrol mode, but then you obviously pay a lot more for fuel there and less efficiency as well. So guys, this is my video of the Tata Nexon iCNG, an impressive car. The gearbox could be better. Hopefully an automatic comes in, because once that happens, this car will be way better, because then launching issues, gear shift issues, clutch issues will not be there at all. And as I see it, Tata Motors is on a roll. So many powertrain options, giving the customer the choice, whichever variant they want to opt for, whichever engine they want. The customer has the right to choose as well, which is a fantastic thing. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. And don't forget to check out this awesome car perfume from Involve Your Senses. This is the Involve Elements Flame. You can get yours with a 10% discount using coupon code FASTBEAM. Click somewhere on the top right corner of the screen right now. Bye bye.